Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm back. Daddy's back. You've seen me on a couple of podcasts in the. I can't stand you, yo. I was trying to be so serious for that intro. Oh my god! Like, subscribe. This shit happens. It's funny. Like, if you're not here in the chat, if you're not vibing with the stream live, it's just don't hit. It hit different. Hit different. Go grab a blunt. Grab some snacks, get yourself a Star Crunch. Yes, I'm taking Corey Kenshin's intro. This is going to be one of the longest videos I've ever made. And it's about nothing but bullshit. It's copyrighted. That's what I was checking for. Okay, very quickly, small, tiny little backstory. And some rules. We got to play by some rules. This man said cap. Swear to God, bro, I just looked up. I always looked at Twitch copyright list and I just checked the song before and it gives you the link. It was like, it'll tell you green or red. You've seen it on this stream. Don't bother me. Anyway, hit the like, hit the subscribe. What are you doing? You ready for some drama? This is unedited, uncut. This is a raw take. We're going to set up a backstory and then we're going to set some rules. Backstory. About a year and a half ago, I sent in a voice reel to become the next Tom from Toonami. I talked to all my friends about it. Shit was dope. Things are happening with that. At the very same time, I had met a guy named Matt. Matt is a very cool dude. I like Matt. Matt, dope. Matt, one of them people. If he got it, he gonna give it to you. If he got it, he gonna give it to you. So I was feeling really down on my luck over the last year due to photography and stuff. And he was like, yo, if you invest a little bit of money and up your gear and make something with that, like just like a couple products, I could slide you in for at least a PA. Because Jesus Christ. We'll be able to slide you in for like a PA thing. And if you do really good, maybe I could even talk about you running a little, offside assistant director. Maybe I can get you to do BTS shots, really show off what you got and be creative, and maybe they'll notice you. But at least you'll definitely have a reel in. I'm talking quiet now because this story is about to elevate to heights you have never seen me get angry about, and I'm trying to keep the energy like as a actual story, like you was in the room with me. This is one of them times. Like, pay attention to the title of the stream. When I tell you, my G, when I tell you, we need to set some rules. I cannot and I will not name any names in this story that would incriminate someone. I'm not going to go do that. I should, but I'm not. I do that out of respect. I understand situations go awry. This is just what you guys need to know, because you will notice that it will affect me in the future, and I want to build this with you as a community, and I don't want to just leave you out to dry. What's with all this electricity being wasted for nothing? That's deep, bro. Let's talk about my opportunity to film an ad. And the absolute gross shit that happened to me, yo, I swear to God. All right, let's get it popping. We're on Damon time. Get hype, grab your snacks. I gave you the rules. We know what to play by. It's 5 minutes in. Let's get it popping. All right, yo. There's no reason for your keyboard to act like that. Change the fucking... Oh, wait. Is it wide? No, that's I probably would have to lower it. Yeah, I'd probably have to lower it. I usually have the. You know what? You know what? In the middle of the stream, in the middle of the segment, and if you're on this watching this on YouTube, this is the shit you be missing. This is the shit you be missing. This the shit you've been missing. Okay, now we're in a new fucking corner. Now we're in a new. Hey, look at this. Oh my god, it's like a fucking production. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? For about 2 months, I was working with these people, right? You know, I was a group of people, great group of people. Go let them rock. Also, you seem to scream as if we can't hear you already. I'm sorry, that's my energy. I apologize. I like being entertaining and hype. That's just my energy. I calm down about hour 3. I don't know. Anyway, I have been planning to shoot this advert for this company for so long that I was banking on getting this shot to work with Warner Brothers. That's why like I can't really say names. As a possible BTS shooter. And if you don't know, BTS shooters for Warner Brothers, even on small crew projects, bank. Like they pay for everything plus like it's bank. That would have been life-changing. I don't have that opportunity anymore. Why, you might ask? I thought you left for 3 days and that's why you haven't been on stream the entire week. What's been going on? Allow me to fucking tell you. Now the table's not even in the shot. That's how bad this is. Okay. I flew out. I'm going to skip everything all the way straight to the day. Went to the airport. I woke up that morning. All of this is important, I swear to God. I woke up that morning. I went to the airport. And I missed my fucking, like, alarm. So I was late. So I had to take a cab. When I took a cab, I got in a Tesla. Coolest car I've ever seen. I kind of fucking want one, to be honest. That should have been a harbinger in my head. That there's no way this expensive ass Uber you just took for a 15-minute ride is not a harbinger of like how this trip is gonna be. But it was a cool ride. That car is fucking cool. For some reason, my flight was booked very weirdly. I had to like go from one place to another to get back across that place. It was one of them like weird layover flight type things. I guess because where I was at wasn't a popular place. When I tell you, I got there. Cold as hell. They say, get an Uber to where we're at and we'll cover it. I'm like, dope, okay. So I leave the airport. Then they tell me they're coming to get me. I left the airport, so there's nothing I can do. I can't eat. There's no bathrooms to use, nothing. So I'm just stuck there. Falling asleep. They finally pull up. And I meet them. And from the surface, they look like great individuals. Great. You know them movies like Get Out? Like when you see the black dude get into a car with a bunch of white people. Everybody in the movie theater is like, no. I swear to you, and I'm not even lying. In like the deepest recesses of my brain, I heard that. And just the back portion, like that super subconscious noise that you just have tuned out so far that it's just a part of your daily routine. Like it's just so there that it's not even there. One of those. So we drive in and I'm like, okay, dope. It's really nice to meet y'all. It's cool. We all good. We all Gucci. Yo, we stop off at a Walgreens and I got some snacks. This is important. These details are so fucking important because once you see the microaggressions, you're gonna notice like that every little detail that I keep dropping is leading up to something bigger. I'm trying to tell this story in full. I've been telling the story in pieces so far, so like I want to make sure I get everything down. Got some snacks. We're driving, and I'm thinking we're going back to the crib, so I could drop off my gear. I brought everything for this ad. I spent $1,700 on tools. I got monitors, different lenses. I repaired my camera body. That's why it's sitting on this tripod now. I repaired my camera body. Everything was set. Everything was fucking set. We weren't going there though. We were going to a photo shoot. So at first I'm already a little bothered because I'm like, I literally just took pictures for y'all. Like, you hired a photographer for a photo shoot when I'm like literally here. And then I thought in my head, you know what? That's nothing. That's they probably wanted a different style. They probably wanted a studio and they didn't know like if I knew how to rent one or whatever. Plus they probably think I'm more or adapted to video than photo and they want a specific photographer. Like, okay, cool. Popped in and I'm like, I didn't get a haircut. I didn't bring like certain clothes for like a photo shoot. I didn't know that we were taking one. I wish somebody would have told me because I'm a part of the team, right? Like if we're taking team photos and they're including me in the photos. So like, why would you not tell me this ahead of time? That's also funny because the conclusion of this story means that those photos are wasted. When I started noticing that the plan wasn't even for me to have any shots, I'm now starting to realize, and we haven't even gotten to the conclusion of this, but it's now in my head that I realize that they weren't planning to use any of those anyway. Yeah, that was them trying to be nice. Fuck off. Anyway, you haven't heard anything too bad so far, right? That was the high point of the trip. We drive around to another place. Remember, we're trying not to name names here. At least keep it vague enough that people who know, and people who don't, they'll at least get the feeling. We go get something else to eat, and I talk to all of them. And I tell them like what I've got writing on this. I tell them how energetic and how excited I am to actually be doing a full scale project. I do full scale projects, but like this one has personal interest because I am heavily invested in what you guys stand for. The creative artist license. Everything seems fine. Except for one thing. This is another one of those details I need you to pay attention to. And I'm going to speed this up right after this because everything else is like painful. Everything. Here we go. Yo, so while we at that stop that I told you about when we stopped for food, everybody went and ate Subway. I ate Tim Hortons. The person in charge specifically said that they were going to pay for my meal. And I was like, okay, that makes sense because you're paying for everybody else's meal. I was standing at that counter for 13 minutes while me and the guy behind the counter are just staring at this woman waiting for her to walk up because he himself had heard her say that. So he's wondering what the fuck is going on. I had only $100 bill on me. So I was like, I could only break that. Like I could only do that. Um, Paid for that food on my own. It's not a lot of money. It's just that it's going to be one of the most interesting parts of the story. So, why is this trip so bad? Why was this trip so damaging? All we've heard are little tiny tidbits. Okay, here we go. Here's the juicy part. So, after that, we go and they start doing their work for what they have to do for why they're there, right? I had already specifically felt that mood, thank you. Reginald Vell Johnson. Anyway, damn, references off the top of that. Yo, after all that, the expectations were set. Like, I need time. I specifically expressed to them in multiple, like, meetings and multiple, like, previs meetings, obviously, for the ad. I'm gonna need about 5 hours of your time. That was the goal off my head. 5 hours. I probably only needed like 2.5, but like budget for longer, and you just, you'll get to where you get. So, at the end of the day, it's already like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, this is a great part to start shooting, like the part of the ad. I went back to the car because I had forgotten something. Mind you, everybody had just gotten out. I was in the backseat with 2 people. I had just gotten out. I closed the trunk of that car and looked around after I had pulled out my tripod, my gimbal, the lens bags, I was setting up audio gear, everything. Everybody left. Everybody left. Everybody left. And that just, maybe I didn't say like it's time to film, but like I could have sworn like that was part of the plan of the shot list that we had gotten. Like, it's better that we do all of that today because you're going to be super busy the next day. I'm confused. So I start running up to people with all my gear, jostling. And y'all know, if y'all ever seen like a college student with film gear, it look just like that, except I'm older and more in pain. Oh my God. When I tell you, yo, I was pulling up to film people and they was giving me these nasty ass looks. And I'm like, are you guys like not interested in filming the ad? Like, I got that vibe immediately. Like, it felt like they didn't want to pose for shots. It felt like they wanted like BTS of them doing whatever it was they were doing. And then from there, like, they would just put an ad together. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, you have to be involved in the process. So I said that. They all met up again. And before all of them grouped up together, I talked to the main people who hired me. And I was like, I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm not saying this to be even disrespectful. I'm saying this in the common courtesy of time, effort, and just because I know you like that and I want to communicate effectively like what's happening, I can tell you guys don't give a shit about this ad. Not because you don't care, but because you're too busy to afford to break your time apart to give me a window in which I am in complete control. I think that is what anybody would say in that situation. Like, yo, this isn't going well because I can tell people aren't like really like vibing with the idea of being filmed, posing, etc. Like, how easy is that? So they kind of look at me like I'm like crazy, like I'm like weird. And I'm like, well, no, I'm just letting you know, like, maybe if we reformat this, we can achieve an even better result than we previously anticipated because you don't have time to care about it, to nurture it, to make it grow into what you had envisioned. Best director call you can ever make. If you're an artist, oh god, I was yogurt mouth for a second there. Damn, that's gonna get clipped. Fuck me. Oh well. If you are an artist and you're ever in this position, take control of the reins if that's your job. Don't be the fucking gopher and like be talking about, I think you should frame this in 235.1 aspect. Like, don't be that guy. But like, if you have creative control, like assume control. Like, get the situation under control. So I tell the rest of the group, slow the fuck down. I don't say that literally, but I'm like, yo, slow down so I can catch up to you and get the shots that I need. And I can go by group instead of by person or by whatever route y'all traveling to if I go out of focus one more fucking time. Hello? Why are you doing this to me? Is it because I moved you? Do I have to move you again? I'm gonna have so many thumbnails. Nobody's gonna know what's going on. Anyway, so it's like what gets me, what what tickles my fucking taint is that I told them to slow down. I went with one group. I started walking back to get to the next group. We're going back to the car. All that time gone. So I'm like, nobody's searching out for me. Nobody's texting me their locations. I'm not finding out nothing from nobody. I don't hear nothing from nobody. I'm not getting no feedback. I'm not getting nothing. Nobody's saying this would be a good shot. Nobody's even putting their 2 cents in. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this lackluster energy? So we go to another place. I start filming there. We go to another place. I start filming there. Fine, whatever. They decide to split the group up. Some will go to dinner. Some will stay there. I decide to go to dinner with them. And at dinner, the moment we sit down, before we've even ordered the food, I tell them, yo, we need to talk about this ad because I can't justify the budget that I am going to ask you for if I don't get like more cooperation. And because you brought me out here and you've effectively ignored me this entire time, I'm starting to feel a little bit disrespected in how I'm being treated. Just straight up like that. Straight up. And I understand that maybe you guys just don't know like what it takes or what goes into an ad. I can understand that and I can envision with you. But you want a 45-second ad, that means I got to get a lot of clips to clip that up, and I need a certain amount of shots. And y'all are really like just moving and doing and acting without like even concerning me in the actions of what's going on. You're not updating me, you know. You're not you introduced me once to like a group of 4 people. Like, that's our videographer. Like, painful shit, bro. Painful shit. But I spoke up about it. And I told them, while I'm telling them, I'm not trying to cause a problem. I'm going to just speak up on it. I'm not going to sit there and pretend that, like, me as a person isn't feeling a type of way. Like, if you get me, and that's what I was saying earlier in this story about, like, I think y'all know me. If I have to get to a point in my life where I have to talk about things like that have affected me on stream and it involves you, you cross the line somewhere. You cross the line. So leaving me the 2 times and making me just look dumb in the dinner, because they all did the thing, like, I have to go to the bathroom instead of like finishing the conversation. In that time, throughout that dinner, we just talked and discussed, and it was an interesting like moment. It was an interesting moment because I had said to them, don't you care about like what people are going through, like as we're talking about this? Some people literally don't have the headspace because something was going on with another person. People don't have the headspaces right now to be sitting there filming an ad. And that's a problem for me if they're not energetic and enthused on camera. I can't force them to smile. Like, this is video. Their attitude matters. The way they walk matters. And it's like I wanted to tell this story in anger. I really did. But like now as I'm talking about it, I'm starting to realize like I really did nothing wrong here. And I hate sounding like that because I've literally trashed people who on stream who have said that shit. I did nothing wrong here. But like as I keep telling you this story, I'm telling you both sides of it. This is and there's not no bullshit ass like, oh, these people did me dirty and I'm gonna air their laundry. I'm telling you guys this story because it's important to me that you know, like, that this right here, you and me, this shit is real. I'm not, fuck the other political people that you watch, and I'm not saying fuck them because like I fuck with mad people. Like we're just in the mode to talk. But fuck all the other political people you talk. Like when I talk to you, when I'm on stream, this shit is me. If I'm feeling negative, it's me. If I'm feeling positive, it's me. If I feel sad, depressed, anxious, it's me. You getting me. If my stream feel lackluster and the energy not kicking up, somebody said, from the high decibels, the charm will be gone. I'm loud. Sorry. This is real. And I felt like at that point, there's nothing else I can tell you to really get you to feel what's happening here. Ironically, the next day was going to just open it up, and I was officially like confirmed in my head, wow, this shit is fucked. Oh, mad shit popping. Good looks, Ryan, for the post. Everybody who's watching this on YouTube is like, oh, you're using a... Yeah, bars. Fucking bars. Anyway. Eat the dinner. Go back to the place. They go to this meeting. And it's a meeting between them and the rest of the people that they're working with for the event that's happening the next day. I'm specifically told by 2 or 3 of the team members that there's nothing for me really to film in there because it's going to be pretty much a private conversation about like the thing itself. So you could just wait outside until we get out, right? So I do that. I wish I didn't do that because then what happens the next day probably wouldn't have happened, but like, fuck it. I did what I was told, right? That's how we play this game. I did what I was told. Yo, when I tell you we went back to the house and I'm sitting in the crib, I skip. Oh my God. Maybe I need to go back a step. 2 things happened during this trip in between what I've said, and I want to tell you them to really build my case as to why like I had a right to be frustrated anyway. The person driving got onto a road, and this road stretched for like, it was going to take like an hour to drive straight down until the next like turn you could make. That's how it was, a straightaway road that lasted for like an hour. That's how long the GPS gave. Like it'll be an hour before your next turn. No way to turn off, right? We ended up figuring out a way, a little legal, but like, we did what we ended up doing. Fuck with the vision. Whole team was on that one. saved us out of that predicament. Same person takes a wrong turn on the way back to the crib. We end up in fucking Canada, bro. Canada. Fucking Canada. If I didn't think to carry my expired ID, all I would have had was my interim ID. And he didn't want to accept that. The interim ID is valid. The expired one obviously isn't. I remember my boy crossing the border when he moved there. And he lived, what's crazy is that the next day I ended up finding out that I was across like the border from him. I'm gonna tell you that, don't worry, we're gonna get into that. I told you the story was long. But anyway, yo, and he had trouble with that because he had the interim and didn't carry the expired, because it's like, there's no point in carrying the expired if it's expired. Like, you're racking me up for an expired license. I would have been held by the Canadian Border Patrol. And he had looked at me when I gave him both, and the only reason he took the expired is because he saw the interim one with the correct date. So he knew that this one was valid because the codes matched. If I didn't have that expired one, and I said to myself, there's no point in bringing it if you have the interim one. And I'm so glad I did. Thank fucking God, bro. Because they could have, so the idea behind that is that they could assume they were smuggling me, like, or I had something on me, and I was using the expired license as an excuse, like it could have been fake or whatever. Yo, get back to the crib, sitting in my room. I get a text message. Can you come up? And can you show us a storyboard? I'm like, yeah, I got you. Pull up, cause we're in the same house, but it's like 2 floors, and it's just mad bedrooms and like 1 living room. Go up there, and I talk to them all about what we need for shots, what our script looks like, what we're doing. I even get a couple shots while we sitting there, like all that. I'm doing all that. We talk it all the way through. It only takes 10 minutes. The other person in charge says 9:30 a.m. sharp. Everybody's up, and we're going to get the shots that we just talked about. Thank you. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. We're doing a thing. Yes, let's go. It's 9:50. I've been up since 8. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody's knocked on my door. Nobody's done anything to me. I'm sitting there waiting for people to be ready. So I gave them their 20 minutes, and I texted them, and I was like, yo, everyone ready? I get a reply back. Not yet. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going, just chill, just wait. Another 20 minutes pass. Get a text. Come on up. I get up there and they're all leaving for breakfast. And I was stunned. I swear to you, if it would have been one of them moments, I would have, oh my God. Oh my Lord, have mercy. This is where the story picks up. So, you already see that they've been fucking with me for like a hot minute, right? This one was so blatant, I was like, why even do that? Why, like, what did I miscommunicate here? Where was I the dickhead in this? And I'm sitting there like, should I have, like went to y'all? I asked if everyone was ready for the shots. Like, what did I not do here? Anyway. So we go to this diner. Food is fucking banging and mad cheap. Gotta shout outs to that diner. That shit was fucking, whoo, that shit was hot. Pete, I told you it gets intense from this point. I had my energy low for the first half of this. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Now I got you. Here we go. So, we leave the fucking diner, we go drive, and we go to Niagara Falls. You know, y'all know, if you know anything about me, if you know anything about my past YouTube channels or anything about my history, if you're one of them day ones, it's okay if y'all not. It's cool. Y'all day ones for here, and that's important to me right now. I got day ones all over the place. Y'all with me. Y'all with Big Daddy. Y'all know I've always wanted to go to Niagara Falls. One of the things I wanted to do before I died was make sure I went to Niagara Falls. And that I only made that much of a declaration because at the time I had made it, I was super, super poor. And I was like, I can't afford a trip there. Now I can afford a trip there. And I'm going to go again because I want to enjoy myself. Oh, boy. Remember that shit I said about earlier, the day before, where I closed the trunk and like everyone disappeared? We walked down a little bit after parking. I left my camera in the car like a fucking moron. Because I was carrying something that I thought had it on it. So when I put it back in there, I thought it wasn't on it. So when I walked out, I didn't have it. Anyway. I fucking went back to the car, got the shit, started walking back. Nowhere to be found. They did not wait for me to get back to the car, from the car. You see why I paused right there? Because I'm letting you play out that Jurassic Park meme that I know just ran through your head right now. Like, if you made it to this part of the video, I'm letting that, like, whoa! He left us! He left us! Literally, though. Left me. So I'm carrying my gear and I don't know where I'm at. So there's a path where you could go to the left or you could go to the right. I have to decide. I see that the left path doesn't really lead anywhere, so I go to the right. At a point, there's a crossroads. I don't see them on one part of the crossroads, so there's a long bridge, so I start to walk down the bridge, and I'm trying to figure out where the fuck I am. I don't want to walk too far. And then, like, 20 minutes later, I get a text, hey, where are you? And I'm like, where are you? Like, aren't you supposed to be working with me? Why am I following y'all around? Can I get a say in, like, where we go? Can I get a say in what we do? Apparently fucking not. Apparently fucking not. So I finally catch up with them after another 20 minutes of waiting. And I haven't told this story out loud to anybody before, but I'm going to tell it here. I went up to this place that they were visiting in Niagara Falls. It was a little attraction inside the state park. The ticket person there, I asked her if she had seen a group of individuals just come in here, because apparently you had to buy a ticket to get in. And she was like, yeah. I saw a huge group of like tall people. And I was like, yeah, them. So she was I don't know how we ended up here, but she was asking me about like, she was asking me about like where I was from. Like, I could tell you're not from around here. And she noticed I was carrying all the gear, and she was like, were you supposed to be like filming a thing, like recording a thing for them? And I was like, yeah, I'm hired to do I'm doing an ad. And I said it with such a nice face too. And she was like, oh, I'd be a little mad if they left me there. And I was like, yo, how are you picking up on this off just me not being with them in that moment? When she said it, I lost it. I swear to God, I lost it, because it was like nobody else was there to defend me, and some random ass person picked up the entire vibe of the trip. And it bothered me, because as we get to the end and the conclusion of this story, you're gonna hear how like that one moment right there should have put me on a better pedestal for what was going to happen next. Yeah, she was like, why did they leave you? I'd be mad if I were you. And I was like, they're just enjoying the sights. They probably just, it ran past their mind. Oh! Where's that fucking where's the Angelica meme? I do have it as a reaction. Damn, can I play that? Can I play that live on stream? Anyway, you know it's the one. It's the one where she goes, ah! It's that one. Yo. Yo. When I tell you how livid I was that it was 15 minutes after that confrontation that I finally caught back up with them. So here's what makes the story a little bit cool. We're going to go with a little bit of a cool transition here. Remember that friend I told you about? Not Matt. The one that my boy in Canada. Gotta stir your chobani. The entire chobani. Gotta spin your chobanis. When I tell you, they kind of looked at me like, where was I? Anyway, my friend across the border. Because, I just want to keep going. Okay, I got to tell you the important part. My friend across the border was like, yo, what's going on? Like, why are you so close? I got a notification that you were like nearby. And I was like, yeah, bro, I'm in Niagara Falls. I'm actually at the park. And he's like, I live across the street. I live across the water from the park. And I was like, oh shit. And he's like, yeah, if you look, you can see my house. Like, and I was like, oh shit, I can't see it. So he was like, I told him about everything that was going on. And he was like, all right, it looks like you're having a bad time. I'm gonna make it fire for you. And I was like, how? You gonna come across and like help me film or whatever? You're not gonna be here for like 5 hours. He was like, no, I got a drone. I can get some nice drone shots over the park for you, and I can get some drone shots over Canada, since most people won't be able to tell the fucking difference since it's the area across the bridge. And I was like, copy, absolutely, for free. He's like, I was probably gonna fly out a couple days from now. So why not just do it today and the day? I have the day free, and he didn't charge me or do anything like that because he was just gonna do it anyway. And we love sharing fucking footage. We're stock footage buddies. If he ever saw this, he'd be like, "Shut the fuck up, corny ass." Oh my god. Anyway, yo. So I tell them as I'm on the phone with him, like that he's gonna fly some drone shots over if you guys want to wait here. And they was like, when will that be? And I was like, probably about 5-10 minutes. They just walked away. We went to a souvenir shop instead. So when he did the flyover, he was looking for me, and I kept telling him, like, we're in the souvenir shop. And he's like, I can't, like, see you in there, so it doesn't fucking matter. I was like, copy. Just give me some landscape shots. Though them shots came out banging. Shout out to my boy. So as we're leaving the convenience store, as we're leaving the souvenir shop, they start walking back to the car, and I was like, let me walk ahead of y'all, because they paused for something. I forgot what they paused for. But I was like, let me walk ahead of y'all so I can set up for a shot down by the bridge. I set up for the shot, and instead of them coming up to me and asking me, okay, so what's the shot? What are we doing? They all kind of just group up together and walk past the camera, and they were like, I thought that was the shot. Nigga. Actively just pretending I'm there to perform a function and I'm not a human being. Actively. This is at the point where I'm like, for all my hood people out there, for anybody who you're moving funny. Now you're moving like extreme. You are threading the line between me and me spitting on you, and it's getting thinner and fucking thinner, and I'm like pressing my soul against the glass to stop me from doing it. But I'm gonna chill. I don't got that money in my hand. That's not making me feel comfortable. Hey, yo, pay me my shit and get me the fuck out of here. Because this shit wild. We take a couple pictures. We dip. I'm like, I'm not even going to try to get shots with y'all. Not even gonna try. Like, we burnt time. We have to go do other shit. Like, let's fucking go. We go back around to where we were before, and here comes the sidebar. The best part of the trip as far as client relations. We go down to this Jamaican spot, and y'all know them Jamaican spots, you know them it'd be somebody's house. It'd just be somebody's house. It was one of them joints, one of them dirty joints. Food was bussin'. Food was crazy, son. Food was crazy good. Crazy good. Oh my God. Gave you that hollow the Don just spit a ball face food. Type shit. While I'm sitting there, I'm editing the photos from the trip, and they're like, "Oh, these photos look really good," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's me. I do this." Like, mind you, throughout all the conversations that we've had in this entire story, you notice that besides the ones that, like, where I was expressing myself, none of them have been heated or none of them have been like judgmental or snarky. Nobody's made any bad comments. Nobody said anything. Like, none of that was happening. That's what was blowing my mind as to, like, why these people weren't being more receptive to me. Yo. As if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 events so far weren't enough for me to be like, what are we doing here? It gets worse. We go back to where they were, like, walking around doing the stuff, and I start trying to film another group. And some dude come out of his house and he's like, "I saw you was taking a picture of my house. Why?" And I'm like, "I wasn't. I'm filming an ad for these people, and they're doing this thing, and it required them to knock on your door." And he's like, "Well, I get that. I voted already. I just wanted to know why, like, you were taking." I was like, "Whatever. Like, I can understand that. Like, he's not a problem in this situation." Called up the main people. I let them know what happened. And they were like, "Well, I guess we have to stop filming because we don't want to get in any trouble." Okay, so I'm not getting anything for the rest of this session. Because it's not like I'm going to pull out my camera and then have them look at me like, "I thought you said you weren't going to film anything." Oh my God. So time wasted, right? They finally decide to drive back to the house. And one of the people there is like, "Hey, while we're there, we could get some shots." And I'm like, "Let's go. You're my guy right now. I'm really feeling you. You're really here for me." And this motherfucker was probably the only shining light I had for the rest of this night. Halfway through the trip back to the crib, somebody said, "Are we going to stop off at a liquor store?" And somebody asked, "Why?" "Oh, earlier I heard you say shots, and I thought you meant alcohol shots." And he was like, No, I meant video." And everyone in that fucking van groaned, like, "Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah, I thought you meant like alcohol." And I'm sitting there like, y'all all didn't just do that to me just now. Y'all all didn't just act like my existence is a fucking burden to you. I will snuff every single one of you. I will flip this fucking car. Good luck getting home, like, type shit. Like, y'all really making me out to be like some villain for doing one of the easiest and most creative jobs that there are known to man, and that's creating art to promote your vision. And, like, you gonna act like I like my existence is a hassle now? Copy. Now we in that mode. That's why I said earlier we on demon time. Now, like, and I said that very white. Now we're on demon. Now we on demon time. Because now you done crossed that line. Now I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. Y'all making my anxiety trip up. Now I got it under control. You see that control? That's discipline. I swear to you, from this point on in the story all the way till just yesterday. No, that's a lie. Just this morning. From all the way from that point to this morning, it was like this. I woke up this morning, my shit's still. When you do this, My shit still. We go back to the crib. And remember how I told you guys I needed 5 hours of their time? So far, I've only gotten about an hour and 3 minutes. I need 4 more hours of shots. That means I'd have to film continuously, nonstop, never ever breaking camera control for the rest of the time that we'd be in that house until we left to the next place. Not possible, right? People got to go to the bathroom. Like, come on. I finish up all the shots in 16 minutes. I take each person to a different room, and outside it was this beautiful sunset shot. Maybe one day I'll throw a little edit together. I'll put it in a reel and like I'll sneak it in there and be like, yo, those were the shots I was talking about in that story, guys. These 16 minutes. Everybody's saying, I had fun. Yeah, I thought that was going to be way harder than it was. Aye, laddie, you don't fucking say, donkey. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you stupid? Of course it's easy. I'm good to work with. Everyone who has worked with me, besides 3 people, now 4, have ever in their life ever had a problem with me. And the other 3 people, it was so personal and had zero jack shit to do with work. It was their attitudes and how they were trying to get out of paying for it. Everybody saw the moves. They was posting pictures without ever paying for it, telling me, oh, we're not using these shots. We don't like this. So can we reduce it since we're not going to be using these, and like not paying me for my labor? This is where this story actually ends up going into. Anyway, like, yeah, y'all need the box. So this is an advert, right? So there's going to be a voiceover. One of the main 2 people sits down at my computer, at my laptop. I brought my microphone, so you guys know I had to pay insurance on it, because if it broke, there would be no paradigm shift. Insurance on everything to make sure everything was Gucci. And I didn't even get the return on that. I paid insurance when I didn't even have to. Yo. We get to the next place. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Skipping, sorry. This person starts filming the voiceover. How long did I say it had to be, guys? 45 seconds. Their voiceover is 1:56. And if you don't believe me, I still got the fucking... Hold on. Do I still have the timer? That would be crazy. Yeah, I know this story crazy. It get wild. It get worse. Like, it's not over. This story ain't even remotely fucking over. Like, it gets shorter. We're almost to the tail end. We're at the end, like, we're at the endish part now. But, like, if you've been tuning in thus far, now this should get even more wild, bro. Like, this is not the end at all. I was looking on my phone for... Oh, do I have the timer? Hey, yo, I still got it. Because I accidentally left it on. And I fell asleep with it. That was the timer of how long I slept that night. And her times are there. Just subtract. I know you can't really see it. It don't fucking matter. But like, those were all of her pauses. Oh shit. I didn't even peep that. Yeah, I still got it. Oh my God. I still have that. Anyway, 1:56. Gotta trim some shit down. They start trimming some of the words down. They start recording it again and again and trimming and again. I need y'all to focus up with me when I say this, and that's why I'm zoomed in. Didn't you hear me say earlier to them that like maybe we should reformat this ad so that way we can get what we need using less time and less resources, since it's only going to be so short and you don't have the amount of time to actually record this the way you want to in depth? As they're recording it, they can't get it down past a minute. They can't get it under a minute. It's a minute or bust. You scheduled and wanted a product of a 30 to 45 second ad. You are now realizing that your voiceover does not compute with what you need from this ad. you also then realize that some of the shots that we planned were specifically attached to certain things in your voiceover script, the script that we got before we came there. So now that we're finally in person, take a look at what happened. Wasn't I correct? Wasn't I correct here? And I kind of said that. I kind of said, like, I'm not trying to be funny, but like, didn't I kind of say that at the restaurant? That you were going to need to like shorten this? She rolled her eyes. And I said to her, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick. Like, I'm really not trying to be like that guy. Maybe here's where I fucked up. I'm not trying to be that guy. But like at the same time, like, what can I do for you? I was right. You need to change this. You need to change this. We didn't get a voiceover that night. So now I have no clue what any of these shots are going to be attached to. So I have no film grid anymore. That entire shot list, remember that I told you about, guys, about that we worked through for the entirety of that night, that I woke up at 9:30 and nobody was there for? Now I have no shot grid. And if you don't know what a shot grid is, it's a combination of your storyboard, your shot list, your script. It's a combination of certain items that create a web. So you can say, like, from storyboard, it should look like this, attached to which part of the script, attached to which shot, attached to which camera angle, attached to which lens, blah, blah, blah. I have none of that. I'm clipped, bro. So I go back to the room and I wait, and then they finally say they leaving. And we leave to the last place. This is the last place we're going to go to for the end of the day until we go back home, and then we all fly back the next day. Here we go. Here comes the smoke. I get to this thing, bro, and nobody's paying attention to me again. I need shots. I am talking to people out loud like this. I'm talking to you. I'm still talking to you. And as you trail me out, you know when people do that? Like, you'll be sitting there talking directly to their face. They'll go look over. Oh, hey, Billy. And in the middle of my sentence type shit, that's what they was doing. To the point where one of the other people on this team saw it happen, and he was just shaking his head like, no way, bro. So I'm like, y'all don't even really give a fuck about me, like, period. Like, all I'm talking about is, like, this would be a good shot, and maybe we could do this, you know, and maybe we could make it look like that, and the food kind of banging. I enjoy the drinks. Thank you for the drinks. Like, oh my God. So obviously at this point, I feel alienated. When I feel alienated, I feel isolated, and I am scared. I start talking to the DJ because his mixes, this man's transitions was just on point. Like, you know when the DJ be hitting, and it's not like the event for them to be hitting that, but they like knocking it out the fucking park. That was this dude. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll go up to and talk to him, and I talked to him. And he was a dope dude. He was a cool dude. He was hitting. So I do that a couple of times. I go out and I get a couple more drinks from the bar that they have. And at that point, I'm just like, fuck it. Like, nobody's really paying attention to me. So I get a couple shots with another dude that's there. I kind of just tell him stand there and I'll just make it look good. And yo, I just leave. I'm being disrespected. I'm being literally spit on right now. And I'm just going to leave. Just going to fucking leave. So I left. That wasn't a bug. I left and I went over to the convenience store. I've been dying to go to a fucking grocery store ever since we got there because I was like, yo, I'm kind of actually hungry. You see that? The fuck is that? Is that just light from the light? That's just light, isn't it? God damn it. I can't answer that phone call, sorry. Anyway. I start chatting it up with the locals. I'm sorry, because this next part is just so fucking frustrating. And it's bothering me to get these words out. Oh my God. Talking it up with them, I'm like, yo, I see they got honey bourbon backwoods. I gotta get me my backwoods. If you get a chance to get a flavor like that, because they don't really sell them down in the city, like I'm gonna get the backwoods. I don't usually smoke them, but I'm gonna get the backwoods. Pick a couple backwoods, couple chips, whatever. I'm standing outside, and it's actually pretty cool, calm, and collected. And I'm like, cool, copy. Everything's, it's going to be a nice night. I'll just wait for them to get out. We'll do whatever we got to do later. I got my shots. The ad is done. I told him that the ad was done. Because I was just like, I just want to get out of here. This guy is standing. Well, he's calling me twice now. The guy is this guy is standing in front of the place that we're at with a news truck behind him and a camera, and he's recording. So I'm assuming he's like a journalist, an independent journalist, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's saying shit that's super dope. And we're going to cover that today. We're going to cover that event today. Yo. So he's talking good shit, and he motions to me to like come here. Like, if you nod in your head, what do you got to say? And then he recognized who I was from here. So I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a political commentator. Actually, I do this like this. I ended up finding out a lot of history about him. Me and him are actually in similar like lanes as far as like how we got into this. It's very funny. When I started talking to him, we just started going into this beautiful discussion about policies and how people react to the word socialism and why progressives lose races. Y'all know the Dems got beat hard. Like, we were talking about why that is, how they can go more on the offensive, how they can use moral grandstanding, how they take, and we were even crapping on them, like how they utilize these little things and attempt to make big victories out of them when they're not focusing on the core building blocks of their movement and how they present their movement to a greater people for greater accept. It's beautiful, and we're going to cover that today in this show. If you're watching this video, you might miss it. Don't know yet. Hey, fucking yo. I'm talking to this dude, and out of nowhere in the background, just a bunch of them, if not all of them, start walking out the fucking venue. And they're all giving me this signal, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I'm like, oh shit, is this guy like a Republican? Like, did I just get into a conservative battle? Oh fuck, was I repping somebody who didn't like this person? Oh no, I fucked up somewhere. I could admit that. I'm like, fine. And I'm like, so we wrap up the conversation. His whole chat is banging, bro. Like, what's this guy's information? This guy's speaking the truth. Yeah, we need him to run for office. So you know me, I'm feeling myself. And yo, I walk up to them, and the first thing they say is, do you know who that is? And we'll talk about him later, so I'm not going to drop his name. I said no names here. That's blah, blah, blah. We don't fuck with him. Second of all, we don't talk to the press. You were there at the meeting last night. Remember the meeting that they excluded me from? You were there at the meeting last night. What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you fucking stupid? Like, just going off on me. And I said back, I was like, I understand that whatever just happened was a mess up on my behalf, but like, you don't talk to me like I'm a child. You don't talk. Remind you, this is the part of the story that I think when people hear it, they don't click it in. The guy's camera is still rolling. He's looking at me getting embarrassed in front of all these people for talking to him on fucking live stream, bro. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. How embarrassing that shit was to be humiliated like a child in front of everybody. So at the end of that conversation of them yelling at me, the main one is just like, oh, get him in the car, get him in the Uber, get him out of here, get him out of here. Like, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see his face. He's disgust. Like, I hate him. Like, whatever. And I'm like, all right, we're going to walk. So I'm chopping it up with the other person and we going back and forth about how, like, I don't need to be putting all this emotion into this project. Like, we came here, we sign your checks. Like, you do what we tell you to do. Like, I don't know why you needed to be all this extra and all this and that. Just do what you asked and like that. And I'm like sitting here like, you have no team cohesion. You have no empathy. You have nothing that exists and exudes outside of you that is just like pure boiling hatred for like anybody that doesn't operate under your weird sociological like box. Holy shit. It made me think like, is there a little racism involved here? Even though the person I was talking to was fucking black. So I was like, you know what? At the end of this conversation, I told the one I was talking to, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna speak to you not even on some bullshit. Cause this yelling back and forth, that shit don't solve nothing. That shit ain't what I'm here for. I have no idea what's going on, bro. At this point, I started crying because I was literally like, this is the most stressful fucking situation I've ever been in my life. I don't know what's going on right now. Y'all just yelled at me on a live stream for fucking talking to somebody. So I'm telling her, like, of course I'm going to talk to somebody. Y'all been ignoring me this whole time. Of course I'm going to take attention from the first person that gives it to me. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're fucking bugging. Plus, it's not like I said anything bad about y'all. It's not like anything bad was said in general. It was a whole improvement conversation about the same thing that we're all fighting for. Like, whatever. Chop it up. And at the end of this conversation, that person finally starts listening to me. And I was like, yo, if I got to take a L, if I got to take some type of like back for this, like I'm okay with that for that event. But don't call my content or character into question here. I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. And then the other one scream, you clearly don't know what the fuck you're doing. And you're clearly not a fucking professional or else this wouldn't be happening. And I'm like, I'm going to let her have that. Because I could really spit in her face for that right now. I really could. I really could have just been like, get the fuck out the car. Like, on God, get the fuck out the car. Like, get the fuck out the car. Let's rock. Like, let's do this. Like, if you really want to get to a point where you're going to be disrespecting me personally, bet, holla, say, like, on site, like, copy. Don't have me get in this car with this person and not smack him and drive us all off the road. That conversation dies down. We all drive back in the car in silence. We get back to the house. Some other dumb shit happened in the night, and I was still trying to be nice to them. So I was like, yo, I'll let them, like, I'll try to do this thing for them so that way they don't have to, like, be hassled. It was a locked door situation. Got to call a locksmith at 2 o'clock. You know, that type of shit. Anyway. Here's where this story takes a turmoil down for the worst. If you have been fucking with me for this entire hour and 8 minutes, I appreciate you, bro. If you haven't been able to make it through and it's just been like too much for you, I hope you catch the rest on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube right now and you're here towards the tail end of it, I fuck with you for vibing with me this long. This is what has been keeping me from posting, streaming, talking, anything. This is the story. So peep the bullshit. Peep the bullshit. Peep the bull. Somebody knock on my door. It's about 8:48, 8:30, some shit like that. They're like, yo, we got to be out of here by 10. And I'm like, oh, thank you for knocking on my door. I do appreciate that. Like, that was a cool move. You know, all right, maybe, you know, there's a little thread or something we could, you know, there's a little thread. If I had known what he was fucking doing, I would have, So I get a text about 20 minutes later. It's still before 9. I know that for a fact. It was still before 9. Hey, when you leave, make sure to press the check on the door to lock it. And I'm like, okay, how many other people are here? Like, will I be the last one to leave? Like, I said something just along the lines of, hey, is anybody else here? Brody! Remember all those little details I was telling you? Like the snacks, we went to the souvenir shop and I bought something for my dad. Remember all that little shit I was telling you about? That was in the car. I left it in the car because I assumed we were going to take the car back to the airport. Anybody who had to leave earlier than the rest of the group would Uber there. That's what I heard them saying. When I left the fucking crib, bro, they drove off without me. They drove off without me. They all just left. I was the last person. Nobody told me where anybody was. Everything was just cleared out. Like, I'm that disgusting an individual that you can't even say goodbye to me. Fuck off. My whole yak, how dare you? Not even text me in the chat goodbye. You know what it made me feel like? And this is what I was saying earlier about if you've seen this piece already, my Kyle Rittenhouse theory about the judge. It made me feel like maybe they made a separate group chat. Maybe they made a separate group chat. Maybe they made a separate group chat just to get away from me. How fucking dare you? Oh my God! It blew my fucking soul apart to now have to question whether or not I just got played and left. God forbid I didn't have a working Uber account. God forbid I didn't have service in that area. God forbid I didn't have any extra cash on me. God forbid my account gets locked out. I was stranded there effectively. I had to figure out a way to get back to the airport. Luckily, my flight was in 7 fucking hours, because why would you book an earlier flight knowing we're all leaving at 10 o'clock in the morning and we're not doing anything that day? We could have still filmed. We could have done a bunch of stuff since my flight was so late, but you didn't even want to wake me up for that. You didn't even want to talk to me about that. You made a separate group chat. It gotta be. And if you didn't, you moved so funny that now I think that's what you did. And now I'm going to accuse you of that. And that's why I hate. Okay, so this is a smooth sidebar about gaslighting. I hate when men do that shit. They leave the woman with no assumptions as to like their actual motives, so their brain has to fill it in and it becomes negative, because why would you move like that? What was that Black song? Crying you want to see her, but next week you just want your space? Like, why you do that? It blew my mind to see that car gone. To see everyone just packed up and dipped. With the gifts that I had inside there for my dad. Because I know giving that to him would probably mean like I thought about him while I was out on that trip. Luckily, I was able to get him a pack of Tim Hortons coffee, and he never gets to try Tim Hortons. We never do in New York City, so you know it was fire. But that money for the fucking souvenirs was gone. Everything was just. So I'm sitting in my house and I'm recording this as it's happening and I'm sending it to my friends. I'm like, I've been updating people the entire trip, like live video footage, like if I had to defend myself, which I should have. I should have just told them, yo, I have footage of how you treated me and I will take you to court over that. Like, anyway, and that's why that's sort of the tail end of the story. Small sidebar before we get to the aftermath, which the aftermath is much quicker because it's all 6 days, but it's all one like segment, and I would just be repeating myself about each day so I can just collapse this. Thank you for staying with me as long as you have. When I tell you, yo, when I fucking tell you, in that airport, I saw them and they were like ignoring me. They walked like I was pretending to be on my phone because I had seen them coming, and I was looking up at the times. None of them even tapped me on the shoulder. Hey, have a nice flight. Hope your flight. None of that. I should have spun around and been like, spat on that bitch. How dare you? Like, and I'm still trying to be the nice guy here. I'm still trying to be the one to like stretch it. So I saw one of the other people and I started asking him like, hey, have you seen anybody else? When's your flight? Like, maybe you want to hang out a little, before that. Maybe we can actually get to know each other. He's looking at me like I'm some hobo. I'm like, dude, I don't have time to talk to you. I ended up finding out that he did know that people were still in the airport and people were still in the airport. And that's why he was ignoring me. He could have been a real person and been like, yo, the thing that happened last night, like, those people are here. So I can't really fuck with you. And I'd have been like, copy, heard you. I would have done the same thing. I like, copy, keep it pushing. Like, no problem. Nah, he had to lie to my face. He had to lie to my face. I should have dropped him. When I saw it, because it ended up that he didn't get to leave until right around the same time as my flight. So you was really sitting in that entire airport that entire time trying to avoid me. You're that immature? What are we, high school? What is this, fucking high school? You're professionals and this is how you act? Copy. Fly back home. I'm back in the Paradigm's domain, baby! This first L I'ma roll up finna be fire! They hit me up and they're like, yo, can you send over the footage? And I sent over the invoice for the work immediately. We had shot previously in a place in this city because they had all came to this city for something. And it was like 4 seconds worth of footage. I can't find it anymore. I, for some reason, don't know where that went in my computer files system. I'm going to find it one day because I have the pictures from that day. And it's very weird that if I have the card in the machine that it's not automatically backed up. So it's probably under a different file name, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I bill them and they're saying some shit like, this footage looks shaky as hell. I've seen your work and you could do better. And I'm like, well, you're seeing something in 120 FPS, so you're not certain that it's going to be slowed down and clipped and cropped. I shoot for the ad. I don't shoot for solid shots that I can pick out of. I shoot to target exactly what I need, so that way when I get to the edit portion, I'm not scanning hundreds of files. I can overshoot a tiny bit, but I'm not overshooting a video, knowing that once I land my shot, that's my shot. If I can land it in camera, I know that I'm going to land it in the edit. Like, that's the point, to get those 2 second, like, anyway, that's my process when shooting big projects. Never overshoot, because it takes longer to go through them, and the odds are that you'd probably only be replacing a slightly better focus shot with a slightly worse focus shot, but I nail focus, so it doesn't matter. They start complaining about a bunch of shit that's got nothing to do with the project. And I'm like, yo, I sent that invoice. I'm trying to get paid because I have to pay for my father's fucking medical bills. I have to pay my rent. Like, I'm overdue because I left the week of the 1st when all my bills are due. And I told them, based on this project and the budget, that I'd be able to pay everything. The investments I made for the gear. I rented a bunch of shit out. I have to pay that. Like, all of that type of shit. And they're sitting there, you didn't make any investments. We paid for your whole trip and all your meals. Like, you didn't do anything. Like, you barely worked. And I'm sitting there like, there's like 6 cuts on my hand right now. Like, luckily they all healed, but like, nah, I don't think you could see that one. That one is the one that's still open on my thumb. I'm not going to show you. That's graphic. Anyway. Yo. So it becomes, we have to decide what we want to do. So I'm like, just pay the invoice and you guys can decide how you want to move forward after that. And they're like, there's no way we can pay an invoice at this time. Like, it's mad late. Like, it's starting to get to, snarky professional language. You know that? Like that, like, per my latest email. It was like that type of shit. So I'm like, I don't get why you're being mad hostile towards me. I'm being genuine to you. I haven't like lied to you. I haven't disrespected you. I haven't done anything to you. I literally came there to do a job. I expressed to you how that job was going and you didn't like the way I expressed it, I guess. I'm like, but that shouldn't matter. At least I told you. I could have just like faked the whole thing, got the money, and then just be like, oh, we can't make anything out of this. Like I went above and beyond the call of duty here. It took them 6 days to come up with a solution in which they felt like they shouldn't pay me my entire rate because they didn't like what happened during the trip. That's all it was. They feel dissatisfied with the things that happened that they pretty much set up. And they feel like they took such a tremendous hit for paying for this project because they were like, we lost money on the Airbnb, the meals and everything. And I'm sitting there like, you didn't come here to film though. You were going to pay for that trip regardless. Like, I don't understand what that has to do with me. You didn't budget for me. That's what they want to say, is that they didn't budget for me. Right. Sound broke to me. It's very funny too because, and I can say this out loud, it's very funny because these people just sat there and bragged to me about having $500,000 in their account. Type shit. You can't pay me my money? So we went back and forth, 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 to the point where if you've been in this chat and I told you this story with the videos and everything, you know I haven't been able to eat. I can barely sleep. I've been stress smoking. And for those of you, you don't have to fucking know this, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. I don't like smoke weed or I don't smoke cigarettes. I vape, like whatever. I don't do that shit because like I like to be in that constant state the whole time. I like to do it when I want to feel creative, when I want to mellow out for the night. It helps with my anxiety, my ADHD, helps me calm down. Like that's why I'm able to stream because my brain is mellow and I'm not thinking about 18 different things at once. Whatever, right? When I tell you I was just back to back L'ing, I was with a group of people back to back L'ing. I don't know how I wasn't burnt the fuck out afterwards, but like I was alert. I guess it's because I was doing a job. I was also filming a music video. But like I was just back to back L'ing with those people while shooting, getting the shots. Like we were working together throughout all of that. And I had told them the situation too, and they was like, yo, you really should have spit on that bitch. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like it's dead ass one of those, like, I don't think they could be welcome here no more type shits. Like when these was you know, these some dudes, you know, they was some peoples. When I tell you that these motherfuckers talked me down to $1,000, 1/3 of the entire project that I had billed them for, and how bad that financially fucked me for the rest of I'm so scared that I can't even make a promise to get a Christmas gift for somebody. And it's like, I know they would understand, but at the same time, like, that's not their fault. Like, I had planned for that money. There were things I was going to upgrade so I could show the fucking production company, hey, I can shoot shit for y'all. If y'all need like a little studio, you know, I could do like little studio works for you and get little social media ads and really get your money's worth. All gone. I can no longer afford that. And now I'm fucked because now I have to like promote my business so far into a season where people already weren't going outside and doing these type of things because of coronavirus, but now everything's opening up and it's getting cold and people don't want. I'm so fucked. So that's what's been keeping me from streaming for the past week, is that I couldn't sit here and focus on like trying to be entertaining and trying to be like a voice and trying to be all of this when that was like on my head, literally making me go. I was chugging down monsters at this point. Anything to keep my drive going, because all I was doing was pacing back and forth in my house. And now I'm out $2,000. I'm out all the investments I made. I'm out the insurance. I'm out my rent. Like, I pretty much got that money and it was sucked out of my account the moment it got direct deposit. I made nothing. I lost money. And I did the work anyway. So it's fuck them. And you know what really tickles? You know, I'm going to say this, and you could clip this one if you want to, because this is going to be the end of the segment, and it's perfect. It's going to end at 1 hour and 26 seconds. You know what really smacks my pussy? They paid me using a W-9, and for all of the people that know about invoices and W-9s as independent contractors, you owe the tax for both you and the employer. So out of that $1,000, a nice portion of that already went to prepaid taxes. They've never done that before. It's always been direct deposits in my account. They did that shit on purpose. They did that shit on purpose to show me that they are the ones who can fuck with other people. So, to end this story, it's fuck 'em, it's fuck 'em, it's fuck 'em. I'm out of here. 10 seconds to go. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I can't do long videos like this anymore. What's up? Pop up to the Twitch, and I'll see you later.